Good morning, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Alicia Claire and I am so excited to finally have this apple raisin bread ready for you guys and good to go in a recipe. And it's full of really easy, straightforward ingredients, so if you guys want to make it, I hope that it's really fun and easy for you. This recipe is plant-based, vegan, oil-free, nut-free, dairy-free, egg-free. It is not gluten-free, but you could definitely, instead of all-purpose flour, try an almond flour or an oat flour. I have tried it with almond flour before and it gave it a bit more of a grainier texture, which wasn't bad at all. It was just different. So a little note there if you are gluten-free. I'm gonna dive right into this. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, give it a like and subscribe. I'm working on getting to my 1,000 subscribers, so I would love if you guys want to help me out with that. Every little bit helps. And this recipe will also be linked below in the description, which will bring you to my website. It'll have all the information there, and also in the description I'll have linked all of the featured products, just the different things that I use. So enjoy! First things first, as always, I'm going to prepare my 2 flax eggs with hot water. With this recipe, I'm only doing 2.5 tablespoons of hot water to 1 tablespoon of flax. In other recipes, I normally will do 3 tablespoons of water, but when I do that with this recipe, it turns out a little too liquidy, too much like a bread pudding, which was still really good. So if you want an apple raisin bread pudding, do those 3 tablespoons of water. But here, I'm just gonna stick to my 2.5 and set those aside. I'm gonna be using both a small and medium-sized bowl today, but I'm gonna start off with the medium one. First, mixing in our 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour, which is also 90 grams. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Half teaspoon of salt. And 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix, whisk, sift this all together however you'd like to go about it and set aside. Next, in our small bowl, we have 1/3 cup or 50 grams of brown sugar. Side note, I definitely realized while editing this that I did not reset my scale to be zeroed out once I put on the measuring cup, but I did take that into account when I noted how many grams that 1/3 cup was here. 1 teaspoon vanilla. Bring those 2 flax eggs back in, add that to the bowl. Mix everything together. And add that to your previously set aside dry mixture. Now, I completely combined this here, but I did find that it was a bit harder later on to mix in the apples once I'd already combined the flour. So it can be done either way, but if you don't want to later have to get your hands into this dough, you could not mix this all the way here. And then once you've added your next 2 ingredients, then incorporate mixing it all the way. Your next step will be adding 1/2 cup of raisins, which is 65 grams. 2 cups of apples, which is 250 grams. Depending on the size of apple you have, I've had times where it's just 1 apple, it's an apple and a half, it really just depends, but on average, about 1 large apple. You don't need to worry about peeling these. I just wash them first and cut out the center with the seeds and the stem. And this is about the size I chopped them into. everything is officially combined and mixed together. This all fits well in an 8x5 bread baking dish. And I recently started using parchment paper in them. It makes the entire process, including the cleaning process, so much easier. And this has become my favorite parchment paper. The brand is called If You Care. They are vegan, cruelty-free, compostable, and I'm a huge fan. I'm still kind of figuring out the best way to fit them into the pans, but I basically just push down each of the 4 corners first, and then almost like a inside-out Christmas present, on the opposite ends I try to fold the parchment paper in such a way that it can just be easily and cleanly pressed up against the 2 sides. Also, because I'm using a convection air fryer oven, it isn't huge, so I want to make sure that my parchment paper is not going to hit any of the heating coils, so I typically cut it down to size. Oven cooking instructions are included in my linked recipe below, but for air fryer here, I always use the bake setting that has the fan on it. I do 325 degrees, and I'm going to put this in for first 15 minutes, and then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and do another 10 minutes, and that should have it cooked perfectly. Test it by just taking a toothpick, sticking it in a couple different places in the middle, and if I can stick it in and pull it back out without having any batter left over on the toothpick, then you're pretty much guaranteed that it's going to be cooked throughout. So in case anyone was curious, I did put in all this information into Chronometer. This is the nutritional information for the entire loaf, being almost 240 grams of carbs, 16 grams of protein, and 10 grams of fat. A lot of that fat is coming from the flax that's in there. And if you had a quarter of this loaf bread, it would end up being about 270 calories, which is about 2 slices of bread. Besides that, you can give it a short time to cool, or you can really just pull it right out with the parchment paper, another plus with that, and munch on it whenever you like. It is so good. I feel like it just falls apart so nicely. I hope that you all enjoyed this recipe. Like I mentioned before, I do have it linked down below along with all of the products that I use. If you end up making this recipe, let me know. Maybe there are little alterations that you do. You could definitely post it on Instagram and tag me. I am the Alicia Claire on Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and a subscribe. If you aren't subscribed to my channel yet, I am working on that 1,000 subscribers, so here we go. Thank you guys again so much for watching this video and making it to the end. My goal is having 2 videos a week coming out on Tuesdays and Fridays. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.